So, you're building an overlanding brand, or maybe some other kind of outdoor gear company. You already know that finding the right manufacturer is everything. It can literally make or break your business. Today, we're going to break down the ultimate playbook for sourcing products like rooftop tents straight from China and show you exactly how to find that perfect partner.
And that's the big question, right? Are you really ready to take that leap? Because, sourcing online is one thing, but the real pros, the people who build lasting brands, they know the best connections are made on the ground.
And this picture really says it all. For anyone who's serious about importing, there is just no substitute for getting face-to-face with your suppliers. It's about so much more than just a price sheet. It's about building real trust and making sure the quality is exactly what your customers expect.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Why is getting on a plane and flying to China still the absolute gold standard for importers who are looking for reliable, long-term partners? Let's break it down.
It really just boils down to two huge advantages. First, you get to see, touch, and test the products with your own hands. There are no surprises later on. And second, you start building a real human relationship. And that, right there, is the foundation of any successful partnership. But hold on, before you even think about looking at flights, you've got to gear up for the mission. This pre-trip checklist is non-negotiable if you want your sourcing trip to be a success. Okay, these 3 steps are absolutely critical. First step, check the policies. You have to confirm the current visa and entry rules with the Chinese embassy. Seriously, these things can change fast. Second, install a good VPN before you leave. You're going to need it for everything from Google to your email. A solid service like Astril is a business lifesaver over there. And finally, you gotta have a plan for the language barrier. An app like iFly Voice Input is okay in a pinch, but if you're talking serious business, hiring a local interpreter is a total game changer. All right, prep work is done. Now for the main event, choosing your arena. We're going to look at 3 huge trade show opportunities where you're going to find your next great manufacturing partner. And you have to start with the big one, the Titan, the Canton Fair. This thing, held in Guangzhou, isn't just a trade show. It's practically a city dedicated to commerce. The scale is honestly hard to wrap your head around until you're actually walking the halls. It covers pretty much every product you can imagine. Now here's the real kicker about the Canton Fair. Not just anybody can set up a booth here. Every single supplier has already been vetted by Chinese government authorities. They're checked for credibility, their export history, the whole shebang. That is a massive, built-in safety net that helps you avoid sketchy or unreliable suppliers right from the get-go. So the fair happens twice a year, and it's split into 3 phases. Now, if you're sourcing rooftop tents, listen up. You want to circle phase 1 on your calendar. That's for all the automotive parts and accessories. And you'll also want to hit phase 3, which is where you'll find all the outdoor products and sports gear, so you can time your trip just right. But hey, the Canton Fair isn't your only play. If you want to get a little more focused, you should really think about a specialized auto show. These events are where you can really zero in on your niche and find the best of the best in a specific category. It can be way more efficient. And here are your 2 top contenders. First, you've got Automechanika Shanghai. Think of this as the major leagues. It pulls in the biggest international brands, and it's perfect if you're sourcing high-end gear like hard-shell tents. Then you've got the Yiwu Auto Parts Fair. This is more of a hub for smaller, hungry suppliers. They're usually way more flexible on things like minimum order quantities, and they're perfect if you're trying to create a totally custom product from scratch. Just take a look at Automechanika Shanghai. You can just feel the professionalism and the huge scale, right? This is where you go to see the cutting-edge stuff and meet the big established players in the whole automotive and overlanding world. And then there's the Yiwu Fair. It's just a different vibe. It's more of a buzzing, high-energy marketplace. This is your door to finding those agile suppliers who are excited to work with you on custom projects and are often a lot more flexible on the terms. Okay, so you've picked your show. Now what? How do you actually win on the show floor? You need a strategy. You can't just wander around aimlessly. You've got to be smart and methodical. Here is your game plan. Snap photos of the booths and the products you like. Trust me, it'll help you remember who's who later. Grab their catalogs. Ask good questions about their materials, what kind of customization they offer, and how they handle shipping. Oh, and here's a pro tip. Wait until the very last day to buy samples. The suppliers would much rather sell them to you cheap than have to ship them all the way back. And finally, the ultimate power move, try to schedule a factory visit right after the show. That's how you build real trust. And please, please remember this. This is probably the most important tip. Do not try to negotiate your final price on the loud, chaotic show floor. That's not what it's for. The show is for discovery and making connections. Your real negotiating power, where you have all the leverage, comes after the show is over.
So what if a trip to China just isn't in the cards for you right now? Hey, no problem. Don't worry, there's actually an amazing alternative that brings the best suppliers right to you.
Yep, I'm talking about Apex in Las Vegas. This is the biggest automotive aftermarket show in the US, and it attracts top-tier manufacturers from all over the world, including a lot of the same great companies you'd meet in China.
And the real beauty of Apex is you get all the key benefits of an in-person visit. You can meet partners face-to-face, you can inspect the quality of their products, and you can talk about your custom designs, all without a passport. It's a super powerful way to make those global connections, but right on your home turf.
So there you have it. That's the playbook. You know how to prep, you know the best shows to hit, and you have the winning strategy for the show floor, whether you're flying to China or driving to Vegas. The only question left is, what's your first move going to be?